Okay, I've had a couple of questions about setting up a basic CRM spreadsheet slash process slash system in Google Sheets. So I wanted to run through how I record all of my inquiries for my own business, and I've actually sort of implemented the same thing for some of my clients who just couldn't quite get their head around one of the usual software packages or apps that you can get out there. So basically all I do is I open up a brand new Google Sheet, stock standard, nothing special. So yeah, and from here I just build out what the information that they're wanting to capture is. So I'll start here and I'll just piece together the details that you generally want to capture. So we'll go first name, last name, company, email address, mobile number. No one really has office phone numbers, so we'll just go mobile/phone. Website, located, date of first contact, and you can make this whatever you want and whatever you want to capture. I have a field called contact via, which I'll show what I do with that. Referred by, again I capture that because I get a lot of referrals through different networks and different VAs. And so this is where it gets a little bit more customized from here on. So I have information forwarded, and then generally just a brief of what, brief, and then from here I have a field called proceeding. Okay, so this is just a really basic one. So from here I actually just take out the remaining columns over this way. Delete columns just so it's a little bit tidier. Then from here I make the columns that did not do what I wanted it to do. So let's make these a little bit wider. Company, you want a little bit more room. Email, you want a bit more room. Website. Okay, so just from here, pretty it up a little. I'm a color crazy person, so I like to have a little color coding happening. And just so that everything goes into one place, just fix up all the alignment. Okay, and brief, we want a little more info. So as you can see, it doesn't quite fit on one page, but over this side you've got the basic info you want. And I also actually have got the rest of the rows removed just for ease of seeing where I'm at. So just delete those extra rows out too. So for example, we have an inquiry coming from Joe Moneybags. And email at GetRich. Whoops. Oh, you get the drift. And so they're located in Brisbane. I'm located in Brisbane. I just keep track of that because I get inquiries from all over the place. The date of their first contact, so I'm making this video today's date, say, He contacted me via email. So this is where you can get a bit tricky. So you can right click on here and you can actually create a drop down list. So for here, I go data validation. And from here, you can either do it in Excel. You can only do it from a list in a range, and you build it out on a separate sheet. But what I actually do is go list of items, and so from here I actually create specific fields or values. So just so I can keep track of where my leads are coming from. So from here I go email, website inquiry, phone, if I get a phone call, Facebook message, because I get those direct through my page. Where else do I get some from? Networking event. And so yeah, just populating those values that you want it to be, or even put referral sometimes. And so you can get really structured on it and tell it to reject any if you try to select anything other than those, but I don't, because that just makes it a little bit clunky sometimes. And so I save that. And so that now turns into a little drop down. And to be able to make that valid for that entire column, you can actually do that through here. Go back to data validation and hit that little button to the side, and you can select that whole column and hit OK and save. And there you go, that's dragged all of those down there. And so you've got all of that. And just remember, when you're updating that list, if you go into data validation, see how it's just got that one, the one value there. So when you're updating that drop down list, just make sure you select the whole column and go data validation, and then that way you'll make sure you've got consistent values all the way down your sheet. And that actually is what I do also in the preceding. So I'll do that all in one go. And so preceding, I actually put a list of items, and I say yes, no, or on hold. And so then you've got those values there to select for proceeding. That's kind of my little cross check of, you know, have I heard back from them? Are they going ahead? Are they not? I actually also have another column called feedback, which actually I can just copy that and paste. Oops. And we'll go feedback. So whenever I get feedback on a proposal I've sent, I actually record that in there as well. And if you're a color coder as well, you can actually say you want to color code these responses. You can actually do that by conditional formatting, which is the same as in Excel. And so I make, so if the text is exactly yes, I want that to be green. If the text is exactly no, I want that to be red. And then text is exactly on hold, I'll make that yellow. And so that's applied to that column there. So if this person goes, no, I don't want to go ahead, you just hit no, and that'll color code. So you can actually see visually with some colors. That's just me being a little bit, but I know some people prefer color. So that's how you do that. And you can do the same thing for, you know, the contact via. You can create conditional formatting, you know, for emails or whatever, if you're a visual kind of person in that way. Really, this is just for, you know, keeping track of everything in one place. And I accidentally turned on conditional formatting for that column then, so we'll just remove that. And so yeah, that's basically what my CRM is. It's I don't use all these email addresses or contact details for anything other than just keeping track of who I've who's messaged me. Like I have people come back 12 months down the track, you know, saying, oh, I'm sorry, I, you know, got busy, you know, I want to go ahead with you now. And so then I've got this record of, oh yeah, that, and being able to search it and see when they actually first get in touch with me, what I sent them, all that sort of thing. And actually another handy tip up the top here, you can actually, where's my freeze, the top cell, here we go, freeze one row, and you can actually freeze that top row there, so it'll and I'll just add another 25 rows below, and so you can see there as you scroll down you've got your headers at the top there. You can also filter just like in Excel, so you hit the top left square up there, and if you it used to be in here, your filter views. So you can do create a filter view, but create a filter if you want to filter things by, so you go create a filter and you want to filter all your inquiries by that have been contacted you via email. And so you can do that. Kind of the same as Excel. You can cancel that out. Whoops. Clear. Select all. And also you can sort, you know, if you're going to sort by surname or sort by date, you can do that sort in here as well. So that's all under filter. And you can actually turn it off up here. So that's all in that little button up there too. So that's basically what I did, and I'll just create this as a like that. And what I wanted to also show you was, and I'll just rename this sheet so we know what's what. So one thing I did want to show you also was the fact that you could up the ante a little bit with this and use Google Forms on your website as a you know, contact me form or an inquiry form, which then would feed the information that whoever sends through a form can collate into the sheet as a separate sheet. And that's sort of just one way of keeping all your information in this one Google Sheet. So I wanted to quickly show you that as well. I'll just quickly open up my Google Forms in another window and bring it over. Okay, here we go, blank form. So this is where you could potentially create a little inquiry form for you to, or an inquiry form to put on your website. So I'll make it work with me, and if I'd love to speak with you further about how I can help you in your business. And so what you can do is actually create these fields to sort of match what you have going on in your Google Sheet. So what we'll do is we'll put in a short answer, first name, last name, what's your business name, and you can word this however you want, email address. I'm just trying to do this a little bit quickly so that we have mobile or phone, website, that one should have come in as website. And so that's pretty much all you'd really want captured on there. And then for the brief field, you could actually have it as a longer answer. Tell me about what you are seeking assistance with. And so that has a long text. And then we want to switch on, say, the required fields of you want their name, and you definitely want their email address, otherwise you're not going to be able to get in touch with them. And so from there, again, this is super quick. Work with me inquiry form. So from there, we can have, like, you can do things like you can have an image at the top here, an image. What have I got? Question mark. We'll go the pretty one here. And so you can put images in, make it all look pretty, all that sort of stuff. And then pretty sure from there you go with your settings. Usually you untick the restrict users in Encore Admin because you want this to be seen by, you know, outer people. That's pretty much all you have to touch on that side. Presentation. You want to show a link do you want to show a link to submit another response? Sure. And we'll put a confirmation message. Thank you for reaching out. I will endeavour to respond to your inquiry as soon as possible. If you have something like I endeavour to respond to inquiries within 48 hours or anything like that, you can do that. You can also put in there, if you have any, if you wish, you can contact me on my email address and put your email address in there, but we'll just keep it brief for now. And so from here, oh, that was that. I'm pretty sure that captures everything. Here's the rest of the preferences that I need. So we don't want it to collect email addresses because we don't want it to be like a login for, you know, anything. And we didn't set it up as a quiz, so that's fine. And so we hit send, and that will actually now come up with this send form. And so what you want to do is you can have it as a link there, and you can shorten the URL. There's your link to be able to put it up on a website, and you can actually embed it into a website page as well using the embed code here, with your height and width, so you can make it look like what you want it to look like. Now we'll do this as a copy, so I can have that come up in a separate screen. Now what it hasn't asked us to do is allocate where the responses are going, which is rather bizarre, because normally it asks for that. Sorry, responses, here we go. So in the responses tab up the top here, you want the responses to go into your spreadsheet that you've created. So you can actually do it as a new spreadsheet, or you can actually do it into an existing Google Sheet. So, and also on here you want to get email notifications for new responses. So that's for when they send an inquiry in, when you get an email notification that it's happened. So we'll turn that on, and you also can select where that goes to. So this is where we either create a new spreadsheet, which is generally where what you do when you build a new Google form, but we actually want to attach this to the back of that CRM Google Sheet template we've made. So we'll go select existing spreadsheet, and that'll bring up your Google Docs folder, and we'll select that one there. And so then it's come up with spreadsheet linked. So from here, I'll open up the form. So here it is how it looks. Again, you'll be able to edit this. I won't go into the full Google form editing side of things, because that'll make this even longer than it needs to be. So in here, I'll just put in a response. And hit submit. And so there's that message we typed in at the end. So you can put in there also, you know, please head on back to my website at www, or you can make that whatever you like. It is just a text, so you're not going to be able to hyperlink. Actually, from memory, I think you might be able to tell it to no, you can only turn off that link to submit another response. Sorry, I thought there was a way to put in an alternative website address, but yeah. Again, it's a very super simple thing, Google Forms. So yeah, this is just sort of a way to tap into what is already in G Suite. So as you'll see now in this Google Sheet, there's a form responses sheet. So we can move that over here. So it's not there, but see how you've got timestamp, first name, last name, you know, the details. So what you can then do is just go a direct copy, paste values, and boom, there's your first columns of info copied over. Date of first contact, you can actually do that in here for your date of first contact. So yeah, just do that as a straight cut and paste. And then, you know, when they have a brief, because normally they'll put in there what they want help with, and then you can copy and paste that into this brief column, and then that's half of the data entry done. And so that's one way to, and that way you've still got the details there, but it's all feeding straight into your Google Sheet, and you've got your CRM happening over here that you can just transfer that information over to. So yeah, it like I said, it's not, you know, it hasn't got automations, it hasn't got, you know, direct email responses and all that sort of thing, but it's just a very, very basic way to have all of your inquiry information in one place. So yeah, I hope that helped, and I hope that hasn't been too confusing. And yeah, let me know. I'd love to see, you know, I'd love to hear if this has been helpful for you, and whether, you know, you're able to do something with it.